What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and welcome to another episode of our First Down Training show. Today, we're going to be talking about why you ride the bench. We're going to be talking about all the things that football players do wrong that cause them to not get playtime. Then we're going to be going over some current events, you guys. We're going to be talking about when an NFL lineman went against a UFC fighter in a grappling match, and how somebody thinks NFL athletes are better athletes overall than UFC fighters. I personally disagree with that, but we'll talk about that. And then we're going to get into some of your guys' questions that you left on a previous episode. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's get started. So fellas, I personally interact with a lot of athletes, and one of the main questions that I get, whether it's comments on a YouTube video, DMs on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever the case may be, athletes that I know personally, and they're always asking like, Coach, I'm working super hard, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, why am I not playing? So that's what we're going to be discussing today. There's really 5 key mistakes that athletes make that limit their play time, because trust me guys, I was a high school coach for a little bit, and these are all the reasons that kept guys off the field who maybe had natural given talent, maybe did put in a lot of work, but they still really didn't get that much playtime. So that's what we're going to be discussing. So number one thing, guys, is really just not being consistent. I genuinely think so many athletes really think that they're working hard, but they don't necessarily see it through. So like, I'm assuming most of you watching this would consider yourself a hard worker, but like, be honest with yourself for a second. Like, am I really doing everything I possibly can for a sustained amount of time to be able to get playtime? So a lot of dudes can work really hard for a week. A lot of dudes can work really hard for 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, but when they're not seeing like immediate results, or they're not seeing themselves starting right away, they start to give up. They start to get discouraged. They're like, oh, well, you know, what's the point? I'm not playing. I'm not seeing results. I don't feel like I'm getting any better. So why should I get up at 6 a.m. and go work out? Why should I run after practice? Why should I give extra effort in practice if coaches don't really notice me? And that's the biggest mistake that you can make. Guys, it's all about consistency. Really, anything in life is all about consistency. Like me personally, guys, like my goal is to reach as many football players as possible, right? Like that's my whole goal with my training program. That's my whole goal with my social media platforms. And I realize that I need to be consistent. Like I can't be that dude that posts once every week, right? Once every 3 days. Or the guy that doesn't respond to messages, doesn't answer comments. You know what you're getting with me every single day. You're going to get an upload. You're going to get multiple uploads every day with value trying to be given. And that consistency is what it takes, because all it really takes, like let's say you're like a young content creator, right? And you want to break through. Like if you're posting once every 3 days, like you're just decreasing the amount of chances that you have. You need to be posting every day, multiple times a day, because one post hits the algorithm and then it's like, okay, that worked. Let me build off of that. So same thing when it comes to training, you guys. Like you got to stay consistent. You can't be that dude that does it for a week and it's like, oh, I'm not getting any better. It's more than that. It is every day. It's 24/7, 365. If you're a dude that really needs to improve, you need to be consistent. If you're not consistent, I'm telling you guys right now, that's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make that will limit your play time. Now, fellas, before we get into the 4 other mistakes that athletes make, if you're following our YouTube channel, you know that we are dropping our merch today. So if you go to that very first link in the description below, we just came out with a new merch drop. Bunch of new gear, bunch of new alternative logos like what I'm wearing right now. This is our alternative First Down Training logo. We have tons of merchandise, guys. We partnered with Adidas on this, so it is all really good quality. And our merch store is only going to be available, guys, for literally 2 weeks. So it's a limited time option. We're partnering with Adidas, really high quality. We have quarterback throwing towels, bunch of different colors. This is just some other merch that we have. This is kind of like a section of our merch store. This is our wide receiver 1 merch store. So if you're a receiver, we have tons of wide receiver 1 gear, a different logo than what we normally have. We have long sleeve shirts. We have lightweight, like I guess you could say, sweatshirts with another alternative logo. So guys, our merch store is only going to be available for 2 weeks. So guys, go to that very first link in the description below if you want to get our gear. We made our merch super affordable. So because we know most of you guys are high school athletes, youth athletes, but we want you guys to be outfitted in our merch and we want to give back to you. And we really appreciate the support of the brand. So guys, very first link in our description below, our merch store is live. Let's get back to this. So now, second mistake that athletes will make, which limits their playtime really, is not knowing their playbook. So I'm telling you this right now, like if you're a dude that doesn't study your plays regularly, doesn't know what to do on the field, as a coach, I can't play you. You know what I mean? Like, so listen, I'm a trainer these days, right? So I work with a lot of athletes on their skills, on their mechanics, on their running form, on their route running, all that stuff, right? I don't expect you to know stuff like playbook wise. I take the time to explain it to you because that's my job. But school coaches aren't going to do that. And those are ultimately the guys that decide if you're playing or not. So if you're focusing on the wrong things, like you're that dude that's like, I'm going to work really hard and get faster. You might be be the fastest guy on the field, but if you're running a post route when we need you to run a corner, or if you're a lineman and you're blocking left when we need you to block right, guys, we can't put you on the field. So you need to study your playbook. So what are some things that you could do? I get it because I hear from a lot of you athletes, and it kind of bothers me, and I blame the coaches for this, but at the same time, you got to work with what you got. You can't make excuses. I hear excuses all the time that, like, guys are like, oh, well, we don't really have a playbook, so it's hard to study. Well, bro, you know what? You got to figure it out, because in college, you're probably not going to have a playbook either. In college, you know what it is? It's they install a play in the meetings, and then at practice that day, you better know your freaking job, and you better know the play. So even you quarterbacks, like, dude, there's no excuses as a quarterback to not know what you're doing. So every single meeting, every single film study period, you need a notebook and pen. Write the stuff down. You go home, make note cards. If you have an actual dead set playbook for something on Huddle that's uploaded, that's like a digital playbook, there is literally zero excuses as to why you don't know your plays. Make note cards. One side of the play, have the name. Other side, draw out the full play. Draw out your responsibilities. Write some responsibilities and quiz yourself just like how you would prepare for a test in school. Treat every single practice like an ultimate test. So guys, you need to understand your playbook and you need to know your playbook, okay? Now, mistake number 3, you only work hard when you're at practice or when you're at the facility. So here's the thing. If you're a dude competing for playtime, let's say you're a receiver. Let's use this example because I feel like it relates to a lot of positions. Quarterback's a little different because there can only be one of you, right? But if there are multiple positions like receiver, O-line, D-line, DBs, linebackers, there's multiple spots, right? If you're that dude that's competing for playtime, let's say you're a sophomore, you got a couple juniors, you got a couple freshmen, a couple sophomores in your class, and you're trying to compete, you're trying to get on the field, you're trying to start on varsity or freshman or whatever level it is, right? And the only time that you train, the only time that you lift, the only time that you work hard is when you're at the facility, when you're at practice. You are doing the same things as everybody else. So how are you going to get a leg up on dudes? So away from practice, you need to be doing stuff. I was just training a kid earlier today, and I love what I heard. He was like, at practice, I probably get like 30, 40 throws in, but I go home and do about 50 more. That's what it takes, guys. Like, honestly, like, that is what it takes. So what are you doing when you're away from practice? On weekends, are you just that dude that sleeps in late? You go hang out with your friends, you go to the beach, depending on where you live, and then like, okay, and then another day, then Sunday you're spending with your family, you don't really work out. I'm not saying it's bad to spend time with your family, but you need to be doing stuff away from practice to get that leg up on everybody. It's about separating yourself from the pack. But if you do everything that the pack does, you're going to stay in the middle of the pack. If you separate yourself by doing extra work and doing more extra work than what the other guys are doing, because the other guys are going to be doing extra work too, probably, that's how you create separation, and that's how you actually get better and actually have higher skills than those dudes. But if you're that guy that's only lifting when you're with the team, only working on your route running skills during positional drills at practice, you're not going to separate yourself from any other dudes on the team. So you need to make sure that you're doing that. Now, mistake number 4. This is a big one. You work hard, but you're doing the wrong things. So we play football, right? Football is a very result-oriented game, right? You either win or you lose. You're either successful on a rep or you're not. Is the work that you're doing giving you actual results and things that you need to get results in to start and to be on the team? So like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example, right? A perfect personal example, right? So my quarterback coach when I was in high school, he wasn't necessarily a mechanics guy, right? So he was more so a footwork guy. Like, we're doing all kinds of footwork stuff, ladders, whatever. I was confident even as a quarterback, I had the best footwork on the team, right? He was very like mindset wise. So like, I was confident I was the best at reading defenses as a quarterback, but I had awful throwing form. Horrible from years of playing baseball. And he never took the time to correct that. I personally think it was just because he didn't really know. He didn't really know much about throwing mechanics. So I was like, dude, I'm working harder than these guys. I'm putting in the extra work. I'm doing all this stuff, but I'm not playing. What's going on? Like, it's because I was doing the wrong things. Instead of focusing all this time on footwork, on reading defense, which is important to do, I need to also incorporate stuff that's going to give me results and put me in the picture for like playtime. Because coaches were like, your release is too long. Your release is short. Your release needs to be shorter. You need to get the ball out quicker. We can't play you if it takes you forever to throw the ball. And I had awful form, which can limit your accuracy, limit your arm strength. Your delivery speed is going to be slow. And those are things I needed to work on to get playtime. So if you're in that boat, whatever position that you're in, what is going to give you results? Maybe you need to shake up your training routine. And I remember I started getting playtime once I focused on my mechanics. They're like, okay, he fixed what we needed him to fix. Let's give him a chance. And then when you get that chance, you run with it. But if you're a receiver in like, okay, let's say you're in high school, right? High school receivers, you guys know this. When you're in full pads, you're rarely seeing press. You'll see press in one-on-ones, you'll see press in 7-on-7, at camps, whatever. And it's good to understand press, and I'm not saying don't work on your press releases because we post a lot of stuff about press releases. But if your top of the route sucks, if you don't know how to sit in zone coverage and you're not working on those things, we can't play you because it's like that's what we need you to actually execute on the field. What is your job as a receiver, and are you doing the things to help you actually execute your job? That's what I'm going to say to you. So everybody works hard, guys. You're doing the stuff away from practice, great, but what are you actually doing that's going to improve your game? You can be the best damn route runner in the country, but if you're slow as hell, probably not going to play as a receiver. You could have the best DB technique in the world, but if you can't keep up with the receiver running a fade and you get burned every time, we can't play you. So what do you actually need to work on? That's what you should be working hard at. Okay? That's a huge mistake I see players make, and I blame trainers. I think a lot of times you guys are maybe with the wrong trainer. I'm not saying, hey, come train with me. I'm just saying you might be with the wrong trainer, and he might be doing a bunch of stuff that's actually not applying to your game. So you got to make sure that you keep that in mind. Now, mistake number 5, you have a victim mentality. This is a big one. Here's the harsh reality, and I'm always going to give it to you straight. That's why we started doing these like podcasts, longer form or show type YouTube videos, because I wanted to have more of a personal connection with you guys, and I wanted to give it to you straight. Like, yes, we post the stuff with all the drills, we post the YouTube shorts that I'm sure some of you have seen, but that's like not all of the info. We wanted to do these longer form ones so you guys could get all the info, and I could keep it real with you guys and actually talk to you guys almost on like a personal level, right? And I'm going to keep it real. You're either playing or you're not. And you know, if you're not playing, like, you can make all the excuses in the world and be a victim. I know plenty of people like this. Like, I know it used to be a friend of mine, and she had like, you know, kind of a rocky past, and then she had a lot of success, and like she was kind of like popular on social media and stuff like that. And she made some mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, right? And so she constantly is just blaming other people around her, and she's never actually improving herself. She's never actually looking in the mirror like, what did I do? What do I need to correct on a personal level? And she just falls down this very, very dark path, and this path of just a bunch of losses in a row. You lose motivation, you get depressed, whatever. And it's like, at the end of the day, you want to tell them, like, bro, look in the mirror. Like, yes, there are circumstances. Yes, you might be in a situation where there's daddy ball. There's politics. I've been through it all. But at the end of the day, what's the result? You're either playing or you're not playing. And this is harsh, but some of you need to hear this. And if you're just that dude that's going to point fingers and use all the excuses as to why you're not playing, and you have people around you feeding those excuses, like, oh yeah, man, they got it out for you. They got this, they got that. I'm tuning that crap out. I don't want to hear that. I'm not playing. What do I need to do to make sure that I'm playing? Do I need to improve in this area? Do I need to improve in that area? Have a dialogue with your coaches. Talk to your coach. Be like, hey, you know, coach, like, with all respect, I just want to know, what do I need to do to get more play time? Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to work on? And they're going to tell you what you need to work on. You need to work on that. Okay? Are there circumstances? Yes. Is this answer one size fits all? No. But for most of you, you need to stop playing the victim, actually figure out what you need to do, and execute that, and stop listening to everybody else tell you that, oh, you're not successful because of that guy, because of that guy, because of that guy. Have the like ownership of yourself and be like, no, I'm not successful because I'm not successful. It's on me. I need to figure this out, and I need to do it. And if you do it and you improve in those aspects and you're still not playing, that's a different conversation. But don't have that victim mentality. I hear that from everywhere, and that's in every aspect of life, you guys. When you're done playing football one day and you have a career, and I'm not getting a promotion because the boss has it out for me. Maybe you're not getting a promotion because you're not getting the job done. Like, I've had people work for me in the past, right? And they're constantly asking me for raises. I need a raise. I need a raise. I need more money. I need more money. Do you need, okay, well, what have you done for the company? Well, I've just been working here a long time. I don't care. I don't care that you've been working for me for a long time. Have you improved? Has your job made the company better? If it hasn't, you don't deserve a raise. If you haven't, you don't deserve a promotion. So you need to take ownership of what you are actually doing day in and day out, and be really honest with yourself, you guys. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I hope that improves your game. I hope that gives you guys kind of a better insight on what you need to do as a player to improve. So now, guys, we're going to get into some current events. If you haven't, seriously, fellas, check out our merch store. We got new merchandise. We partnered with Adidas. We have tons of Adidas gear, tons of non-Adidas gear, different colors, different hats, sweatshirts, quarterback and wide receiver towels. So guys, very first link in that description below. If you have not checked out our merch store yet, if you were waiting for me to get through that spiel, make sure you check out our merch store. It's only going to be available for 2 weeks. Okay, you guys? So now let's get into some current events, and then we'll get into some questions that you guys asked from a previous episode. So this first one, I thought that was kind of funny. NFL lineman versus UFC fighter. 22-year-old Bengals guard Dylan Fairchild holds his own wrestling wrestling, Sean Strickland. The best athletes in the world are NFL players. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that. Okay, now I know I'm a football guy. You guys know this. I'm a big football guy. The best athletes in the world are MMA fighters. Here's the thing about that clip. They're just wrestling, bro. You get an MMA fight. This is why MMA fighters are the best conditioning, the best athletes in the world. In football, do you get punched in the face? No, you don't get punched in the face. And those guys are just wrestling. Okay, there's no jiu-jitsu, there's no punching. Like, an MMA fighter gets you on the ground, he's going to beat the hell out of you, and you're going to have to compose yourself while getting punched in the face. And then continue on for 3 to 5 more rounds. MMA fighters are the best athletes in the world. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section below if you think they're better athletes. Like, I think rugby players are a hell of athletes. I think football players are great athletes, but nothing compares to a fighter. I don't think boxing is a better athlete than an MMA guy because they don't have to deal with grappling. But like, guys, I've done jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai is something that I do quite frequently. It is a different animal when you're getting punched in the face. Like, when I'm sparring and I get popped, I get a body shot, like, you don't understand how hard it is to come back from a hard shot, compose yourself, still go on, still have that type of cardio, still be able to throw punches afterward. There's no sport like it. So for him to say that they're the best athletes in the world, I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that. But at least he held his own, like, good for him with a wrestling standpoint, because I mean, like, he's a big fella, and Sean Strickland is, like, I believe a middleweight. But at the same time, guys, let's be real, let's be honest with ourselves here, okay? So that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, next current event. This is an interesting one. Ben Roethlisberger says he'd take prime Aaron Rodgers over Patrick Mahomes. Is he right? I don't think he's right. Here's my whole take on it. Now, prime Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers currently is the best thrower of the football ever. There is not a single human that has walked this earth that can throw a football better than Aaron Rodgers. It is the prettiest thing I've ever seen, at least. I mean, I'm kind of weird because I'm a football guy, but it's the prettiest thing I've ever seen. Like, the way that guy throws the ball, the way it comes off his hand, nobody compares. But at the end of the day, what do we play football for? We play football to win. Mahomes got more rings than Aaron Rodgers, so I think that's the only, I mean, would you take prime Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady? No, because, like, why do we play the game? Do we play the game for great passes, great spiral, great velocity, or do we play the game to win? Play the game to win, so I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes all day over that. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Post it in the comment section below. I love the back and forth talking about anything like that. So, guys, but I'm just saying, prime Aaron Rodgers is a beautiful thing to watch. Aaron Rodgers currently is a beautiful thing to watch. But Patrick Mahomes, different animal, because he's a winner. And that's the one knock on Aaron Rodgers. He's only got 1 ring, gets bounced in the playoffs. Like, what do we play the game for, guys? We play the game to win. Now, you can make the argument you put Aaron Rodgers on the Chiefs, maybe a different story, but I just think Mahomes has got that. He's got that it factor that's hard to explain, okay? All right, fellas, now we're going to get into some of your guys' questions that you left on a previous episode. So, fellas, if you guys have questions, stuff you want to ask me, whatever the case may be, guys, don't hesitate. Post those in the comment section below if you want to be featured on our next episode of this show. We do this show 2 to 3 times a week, so we love featuring you guys. We love interacting with you guys. So, guys, do not hesitate. If you have questions you want to ask me, I respond to every single question, whether it's via type or we feature it on an episode. So, guys, post your questions in the comment section below. Let's get to this first question here. So, from Shadow Dragon Gaming YouTube, appreciate it, man. You're always supporting the page, so I really appreciate it. Hey, can you make a video on how to one-hand catch with smaller hands? I'm struggling to one-hand catch, and the one-handers can really come in handy in clutch situations. I mean, look at OBJ. He won that 2014 Giants-Cowboys game because of that one-hander. So, here's the deal. As a receiver, you got to make sure you get the two-handed catch down first before you're worried about one-handed catches. That's all I'm going to say. Number 2, when it comes to one-handed catches, you got smaller hands. Even if you have bigger hands, what's going to help you is grip strength. So if you guys improve your grip strength, hanging from a pull-up bar, doing an exercise called farmer's carry, you hold 2 heavy dumbbells and you walk with those dumbbells. Doing a plate flip, you hold a weighted plate, you flip it end over end, you catch it, right? Doing fingertip push-ups. Anything that will strengthen your grip will not only help your hands in general, but that helps you with those one-handed catches. So I appreciate you asking that, man. Thank you again. Next question, guys, from random_25. Hey, coach, going into my sophomore year, my freshman year honestly wasn't great, and I didn't get any playing time since we don't have a freshman team, and my team has a ton of receivers. Also, my team before didn't run wide receivers, so I was basically new to everything, and I feel like I'm behind everyone else. I try to get on scout team because that's what they say helps you get noticed, but I always get like kicked out of it by other players or even just the coaches, and honestly, I'm not great, but I really want to get better to play at the next level, and I'm lost at what I should do. do. So honestly, man, like scout team is great, but if you want to get more play time as a receiver, there's really 4 things you want to focus on. Number 1 is going to be your speed. Maybe you're not that fast. Maybe you need to get faster. Number 2, you got to catch the ball. If you're the guy that's dropping the ball all the time, we're not going to put you in on scout team because it's not the greatest look for the defense, and we just can't trust you to get you the ball. So those are 2 things most important. Route running. If you don't run good routes, you run sloppy routes, again, that's not a good look for the defense, so you're probably going to get kicked out of scout team. So you need to make sure that you understand running routes is super important. And then your playbook, bro. If you can't execute plays, especially on scout team when they're holding up like a play card or in general, that's going to limit your play time. So if you do those 4 things as a receiver, I guarantee you, you will probably see more play time if you can show those results in position drills in practice, routes versus air, one-on-ones, and especially scout team, okay? So I hope that helps, man. Next question here from Hayden T5R. Thanks for all the videos you make. I just want to know how to beat the press if you're small. If you're a smaller wide receiver going up against bigger DBs and you're struggling versus press coverage, the thing that you need to understand is that your releases need to be a little bit more lateral. So if that guy's right up on the line of scrimmage, maybe what I do is instead of like going at him or trying to do a bunch of different cuts, maybe I do something called the split release, where you're in your stance, your front foot goes out, your back foot goes up, you split, and it's a more lateral release so you keep some space, maybe give him a sway one way, and then go. Another thing you could do is a quick step back release. So you come off the ball, set, go, you step back just very quickly and very subtly. Don't do this big step back and do a bunch of moves, because if you go backwards, it's going to screw up timing with the quarterback. Quick step back, create some space, go get up into your route. So those are easy things that you can do if you're a smaller receiver versus a bigger DB. All right, fellas, guys, seriously, appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope this was able to help you guys. Hope you guys got some value out of this episode. But again, if you have questions, stuff you want to ask me, do not hesitate, fellas. Post those in the comment section below, and we'll see y'all next time.